Good morning, everybody. It is October 7th, 2024. AJ and I here doing a week five recap on Cup of Sports podcast. Good morning, AJ, slash good evening, as usual, for our Sunday night episode.
Yeah. Morning, evening, everyone. Appreciate you all tuning in. We have college football recap, and we'll touch on a few of the bigger games, and then we'll move right into the NFL.
Yep, and then we'll recap just a few things that we'll then touch. Like I said, we mentioned this last week, but we got a good cadence down now. Our Sunday night episode is college football and NFL focus. Wednesday gets to cover all the sports, and then Thursday night live is kind of anything, but it's our Sunday preview and our game picks and spreads and all that. And just time for us to chill and talk to anybody that's jumping in the chat. But yeah, let's dive right in. Let's get into those college football games we had just talked about. It was a crazy Saturday.
It was intense. We'll start. Number four, Tennessee falls on the road to the Arkansas Razorbacks. That was an intense game.
Yep.
I mean, right up until the final minute, you thought, oh, they got this, and
Yeah,
then
it's Tennessee. They're gonna pull it out.
yeah, right, and then boom, they hit that field goal early in the fourth, and then hit that touchdown with like a minute left,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah,
Just
this is one of
college
those
football
things. I
encapsulated in a game.
Yep, this is one of those things I mentioned to you before. That I have a buddy that reaches out for fantasy advice all the time, and one of the things I constantly say is like, there's a handful of teams I like. I just don't trust. Like, I don't like. I never liked Belichick running backs or receivers. Like, I don't know that they're gonna have a fantasy type game. That same thought process I always have when betting on college football. Like, I don't care if they're ranked or not. Teams in the SEC and those type of teams, like those football states, I'm never confident that an unranked Arkansas or Utah or Texas Tech, like I don't care if they're ranked or not, like
Yeah,
they always have a chance to win because like that entire town is just football. So
yeah,
that's one where yeah, like no matter what, like this was a game where it's like you expected Tennessee to win, but like no one's absolutely stunned that Arkansas won because like yeah, they're a
right,
bad team, but like that's a football place. Like that's all they
right.
have is
There's nothing
football.
else to
Like
do in that
nothing
stadium.
else to do. Like that's a football place. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so yeah, good for them though. Yeah, they move up to 4-2, and then they're 2-1 in the SEC. So yeah, they should honestly get a ranking this week. You would think. Um,
The rankings came
oh
out
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess right.
Sunday.
Yeah, I always forget that they update right away.
Yeah, they come out Sunday morning.
I wonder if yeah, I guess they might still be off because I don't think they've had too strong of a resume heading into that. But
Yeah, no, they're not ranked.
yeah, so they had. I mean, they beat Oklahoma State, Auburn, and Texas A&M. I know they lost to Texas A&M in a
Yeah,
close bout last week, but they beat Auburn and Oklahoma State, and then
yeah.
a
There's
couple
too
of nobody
many.
schools.
Michigan's the only team with two losses, and
Yeah, that's true too.
so
Yeah, they have. And yeah,
and
they
they're
have.
ranked 24th.
Oh, no,
Um,
I'm mistaken. They lost to Oklahoma State, so yeah, that makes a lot more
yeah,
sense. Than yeah, they
Arkansas
don't
got
have.
17 votes, so
Yeah, well, they're up
they're
too. They
close,
have
but
they have a bye week this week, and then they have LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Texas. So
yeah,
they win a couple games. Yeah,
they
you
have
have a
their
chance.
chance. Yeah,
They have their chance. Yep.
yeah.
But yeah,
So that was a
yeah, but that
great
was a good
game.
one. Speaking of upsets, though,
Okay, we can talk on that.
which one were you going to?
Oh, I was going to the local game.
Ah, okay, yep. Let's do that one.
Yeah, touch
Dive
on the
in.
local game. Penn State, I think as expected, rolled over
Yeah.
UCLA 27-11. Let me check the spread for that. That was Penn State minus 29.5. So I guess not quite the blowout they were expecting. Look, UCLA has a good defense. I think a lot of people don't, especially out here, don't watch them because of them being a West Coast team.
Yep. You have to be a
Um,
fan to pay
they
attention.
they have a good defense. They're just not deep, and that's where Penn State was able to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
And then UCLA got a garbage touchdown with like 20 seconds left in the game or something like
Yeah.
that to make it semi
Yeah.
respectable, I guess. Scored
Those are ones that I always feel like I don't have to
three
check
points at that
ESPN
point.
for updates. I just check
Yep.
Facebook or like whatever. I just sign in and I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
here's how the game's going. Like I just need all the updates from family and friends that are there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I got a pretty good
Exactly.
idea how the game's going
When
immediately after it
when there's
happens.
110,000 people that are there, you're bound to know quite a few
A handful.
people.
That's yeah. I see every Saturday. You see a couple of photos. You're like, I recognize that place, and people in
Yeah.
the background of other places,
Uh
and
huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, to be honest with you, that puts Penn State in pretty good company. They're ranked fourth in the Big Ten. Rankings came out. I think they're up to five. No, they're up to fourth in the nation.
yep.
At five
But
and zero.
5-0. Yep.
So I mean, They have a chance.
Yeah,
We say
this
this
is the
every year,
year.
though.
Yeah, this is the year.
They
Yep.
have a big game against USC coming up. They go out to USC, so I think that'll be a real test. But I fear for them looking forward to Ohio State in 3 weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
That's yeah. This is what Ryan Day is. He's got to be on a mission this year. He cannot fumble against Penn State or
yeah,
Michigan State or Michigan. Like he has to absolutely decimate everybody, or he is on the hot seat. And
yeah.
honestly,
I
I feel
mean,
like Franklin might be too. Like that's like he's in a year where it's like you're just expecting playoffs, and they've never quite got there. So
you
do they
think?
finally do it, or is that's I mean, do they finally do it, or is it always justified that this year he didn't have the roster and shouldn't have done it? And
Yeah,
yeah, so
I think Penn State is better than what they were expecting to be.
that's what I
Um,
mean. Yeah, like yeah,
and
it's a oh
so
cool, you did this,
I
good for you. But
I do agree with you though. I think a lot of it depends on how that Ohio State game goes.
yeah,
If they lose and it's close, I don't think it's a question.
nope,
Especially if they win the rest of the games, which I think
right.
they
But if
should.
they get blown out there, then also
But
drop another game on the schedule,
yeah,
like now you're like, all right, like now they got a low playoff seed and they shouldn't have, and
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So they have the opportunity to be like a top 6 team in the nation, even with
for
a
sure,
loss to Ohio State.
yeah, they
And
hold on
get
to yeah,
some of those games pushed. Get some big scores in some of those other games. They should be
yeah,
fine. And then,
for sure.
just
But yeah,
like
it's
the
always yeah,
NFL, anything can happen.
absolutely.
Moving right along to our favorite team.
Yes, what a rough week to watch.
I I personally wasn't that surprised. I
Oh
know
yeah, I was just saying, I
there
kind
are
of
a
had a
lot of
feeling it
people
was
that were,
like
and I don't know. I was just like it. We don't have a quarterback. That
or
need I
technically a
say
coach.
more?
Like, or
Like
technically a coach. Like, he's fine, but
like
it's like you're going from Harbaugh to somebody new. Like, that is a
yes,
huge jump. You're not going from somebody you've been hiring for a year or two and they keep getting fired, they keep getting fired. Like, it's Michigan. It's
right,
like the Steelers where, like, those coaches stay. Like, it's
yeah,
not in and out. Like, you typically have a tenured coach that's been there for a minute who also has done a lot of other things.
yeah,
But yes, that's just one where you expect that. So yes, but like this year, it's a brand new coach, hasn't really done much else elsewhere. Like it's like everything is new, and it's just an
right,
odd feeling. And
yeah.
yeah, lose,
It's
yeah. And Washington
I
made it to the title last year or the year before, or whatever. Like
we
that's
beat
like
them last year for the championship.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
yes, that's yeah. So it's like yeah, like they are it.
so
Yeah, it's a tough.
yeah,
Were they in there? The TCU. That's what I was thinking about. That's what I was thinking about
TCU.
TCU because the purple
Yeah,
threw me off, and I was like,
yeah,
TCU got blown out by Georgia, and I was like, that wasn't us, and I was like, oh yeah, we did just beat them last year. Like I was
right,
thinking a
yeah.
couple of years ago, so I was
That's
like, they've been around, but they haven't done anything
yeah,
since then. But I was thinking TCU. They made that one miracle year, then got absolutely murdered in
yeah.
the championship game. But
Everyone hyped this up because of the national championship rematch, but
and
both teams were
both teams are
so
brand new,
different.
new coaches, new team. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't have a good answer for why we didn't recruit a quarterback. We've now been through 3 of them and none of them seem to be it.
Yeah,
Um,
I like who recruited them. Like, did Harbaugh
oh,
recruit them? Because why is everyone else in the locker room going, "Who the hell are we going to start a quarterback?" Like, what
yeah.
happened that we got ourselves into that situation?
Yeah. So,
And do we not
um,
have somebody in the transfer portal we can snag? Do we not have money to write? There's got to be a booster willing to write a check to somebody. Isn't
yeah.
Milroe board in Alabama? Bring him up.
Yeah, so I'm hopeful we come out of this with 2 more losses on the season, those two being to Oregon and Ohio State.
Yeah, but
Um,
even then, I mean, four
and
losses. Like, it's yeah,
I,
we're
I don't expect us to make the playoffs.
yeah,
I
that's yeah, like
just
that's if we do, it's like a Cinderella year. Oh my God, we did it. One of these quarterbacks got their shit together, or our
yeah.
fifth string receiver was like, I can throw the ball, and they were like, can you? And like he starts playing, like yeah, there's a
Yeah.
chance, but it's. So you're saying there's a chance? Is basically
Yes.
all that
Well,
is.
in college football there's always a chance, but
Yeah, because they could get that Ohio State win, and if they win the rest of their games like they should, then they only have 2 losses. Like
the
they're
Big
in there
10
too.
the Big
But
10 is known for beating up on each other.
yeah,
So
that's yeah, and so you
this
never know
is
which way
no
it'll
different.
fall.
Yeah. This is no
You know?
different. And look, yeah, this coming weekend, Ohio State plays Oregon, so one of them has to lose. And then if Penn State could beat Ohio State, they everyone in the division could have one loss. Um,
And is that the
and
last game of the season for Michigan? Yeah, November
yeah,
30th at Ohio State. So yeah,
yeah,
that's a state. Yeah, they have to win out and then make a state. They have a bye next week too.
yeah,
So yeah, they have to win out and
yeah.
then make a statement
It's a
win on the
long road,
road.
but I don't expect it. But if
Yeah,
it
for sure. Yeah, like I
happens,
said, yeah,
that's
that's
great.
yeah, it's yeah,
Touching on the other games, we'll just briefly glance over them because they're just
yeah.
big
So it wasn't.
upsets.
Yeah,
We had Missouri falling to Texas A&M.
Yep.
Not by a little, by a lot. I
Yes.
did take Texas A&M in this game. I did not expect them to be a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked a spread in this game, but yeah, money line you could have
Yeah,
got lucky for sure.
but when your running back has 138 yards on 12 carries and 3 touchdowns, Missouri, you tried.
Yeah, 25% touchdown rate is pretty good. That's a pretty good. 1 out of 4 touches is a touchdown. Is a pretty solid place to be as a running
Yeah,
back.
and then I thought this was surprising. Minnesota taking on USC at home.
Yeah,
Uh, it,
that's another one of those ones where like Minnesota is one of those teams where like I feel like they're a football place. Like whether they're rated, they're ranked or not. Like they're like an Iowa or like you
nothing
know what I
else
mean, a
to do in that
Texas.
state.
Yeah, nothing else really much to do up there, and that's you know what I mean. Like they're it's territory for football, and so if not hockey, honestly. But yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's when you have those football like that, those teams like that, it's always like yeah, like where'd Carson Wentz go? Like North Dakota
North
State or
Dakota State.
something.
Yeah,
Like Josh Allen, like those Wyoming, like those kind of places, like those colleges. They can always just win a game. Like,
yeah,
but yeah, so yeah, Minnesota wins against USC, the Battle of Ugly Reds.
yeah. We've talked
USC
about this
was
time and
11th.
time before. USC 3 turnovers. You don't win a lot of games with three
No,
turnovers,
no, no,
especially the
no.
other team only has one.
Yep, that's where
Um,
you start to yeah, you start to really
yeah,
lose that battle.
and that's what happened in this game. You had the turnovers, and they got the touchdowns off of them, and with a minute left, they take the lead, and you can't come back.
Yeah,
Then the lead, right? It's got to
what a
be
wild game. What a
I,
wild game.
this. This is what makes college football exciting.
It's always,
Games
you
like
know, it's an
this.
exciting game whenever you and I, who know each other, is watching it anyway, are then texting each other about it as if the other one isn't watching. And it's like, I know I'm watching this shit too. Like, we both get so excited to watch that
Yeah,
shit. Like, and it's just like, you see that? And it's like, oh, I saw that. Did you see that? Like,
yeah.
we're both, yeah, like, what a crazy game. Like,
I
it was from the start, you had that vibe that, like, all right, Alabama's going to do
Vanderbilt
their second half shit. But
Vanderbilt's
then,
coming
like, it
out and puts
just,
up 13 real
yeah, you're
quick.
just like, all right,
You're
well,
like,
maybe not,
oh,
maybe not. Like, yeah, it's yeah,
yeah,
what a loss. I mean, you kind of expected it though. Like Alabama was gonna have a loss this year. Like, I mean, they came out hotter than I think everybody thought they were. Like the post Nick Saban era, came out to a hot 4-0 start. Like it looked really good, but again, I don't think we're blown away that they lost. But I'm definitely blown away that they lost to Vanderbilt. Like
yeah.
that's the scary part there. Like
If I was picking
an
a
almost
loss on their
40-year
schedule, it's not
stretch.
to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, no, yeah. If I'm looking at the schedule, I'm looking for a ranked team. I'm not looking at Vanderbilt. Like I said, we even talked about that starting the podcast. Where I was like, one of my favorite college audio clips of all time is the Vanderbilt guy winning that game and says, "Alabama's next on our schedule. We're coming." And then Jalen Hurts is like, "Theoretically, yeah, they are next on our schedule." Like that shit. And then they win like 59-0. Like that's one of the funniest audio clips in
Yes.
college football history. So yeah, so
Yeah.
this game had extra meaning for it, and they posted a clip of that guy sitting in the stands, like in a Vanderbilt shirt, just sad, staring down, and it was like this game was for him, like this game was for that guy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, what a win for them though. That's yeah, Milrow looked okay. Like I said, it didn't look like they did anything wrong. Like it just like they just couldn't get it going, and then
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, like you said, put up a 13-point lead out of the gate, and they could just never really get it going past that. And they were just trading the ball back and forth. If one scored, the other scored. If one punted, the other punted from there, and Vanderbilt just held on to that lead.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, turnover battle. Alabama had two. Vanderbilt had none. That's how you win football games.
Yep.
Um, it's when that's the first stat I look at, and there's a good reason why.
Yeah,
But
and real
the just to touch on it before you go, time of
good.
possession. Vanderbilt have 42 minutes with the
Yeah, that's
football.
crazy. That yeah, like that doesn't typically happen against an Alabama defense. Like you
Yeah,
don't get that
I
opportunity to
just
get multiple first downs and take
yeah
your time getting up the field and not have
yeah
to
like
like
you look at their drives and it's like 17 plays, 9 plays,
right.
like
And even if it is those
10.
plays, typically it's hurry up offenses because you find a weakness in the Alabama defense, and then you're like, okay, let's exploit this as quickly and as fast as we can until they adjust. Let's keep running the same play or same scheme of plays, and then they adjust. Whereas this game, yeah, like they were just walking the line and just getting out to a 13-point lead, like just put them in such like a confidence area that they just did not want to lose that game.
Right.
And then we weren't gonna touch on these ones too, but I remember watching them. I just thought I wanted to throw these out there real quick. Miami barely beat Cal, so there's
They
thirty-nine
did,
thirty-eight
yeah.
there. So Miami in a top 10 situation barely beats Cal. I saw a clip, and that's the only reason I thought about it. I saw a clip of the like somebody had posted like the equipment truck for Miami had to drive from Miami to Cal Berkeley. Like, so
Yeah.
it was like 3,400 miles or some shit like that. So they just were on the road for like a day and a half, basically, just trying to
Yeah.
get all the equipment up there. It was like the farthest traveled distance in an intercoastal game or whatever. Um, And then another one I just want to touch on. The score wasn't really surprising. Boise State 62, Utah State 30. What was crazy was the spread for their running back before the game, Ashton Janty. It was
That
like
guy's incredible.
it was like a negative or whatever you want. Like it was like a guarantee he was going to score two touchdowns. Like you could bet like a dollar
Yeah.
and you won like 50 cents if he scored two touchdowns. And it's like that
Right.
would never happen for anyone else. But they were like he is absolutely going to get in the end zone at least 1 to 2 times. And like it was like number of carries and yards or whatever. And like it was like you could bet a dollar and you win in like 20 cents. Like it was like they were just like yeah no he's going to get that. It's
Yeah.
absolutely guaranteed. But yeah, he ended
That's
up with
incredible.
13, 186, and three touchdowns. So yeah, so that was a guy to watch for if you want to get like a guaranteed bet next week. Just throw some couple bucks on him to get some touchdowns.
We talked about our biases in the first episode, and this is another one where I cannot stand watching a Boise State football game. Their blue turf makes me nauseous.
Dude,
It is
ever since
so obnoxious.
college football days when we were kids, that's one where same thing. Like I didn't watch much of the game, but yeah, I remember being in the game, like and it was always like, well, I'm gonna pick their court, their field for my creative team, and then right away I was like, I fucking hate this. Like it's
Yeah.
so blue on my screen.
It's
It's so blue.
it
Like it looks
reminds
like your
me.
TV's broken.
Yes.
Like I feel like I'm like, is this
I
working?
forget. We must have been watching the Michigan game, and my wife goes, "Is their field like? Is there something wrong with our TV?"
Literally,
And I
that's
was
yeah.
like,
It
"No,
look
that's their
yeah.
field." And she's like, "What's wrong with it?"
Why?
I was
Yeah.
like, "It's
Why?
blue." She's like, "Why?"
Yep.
Yeah. And she's like,
And I hate
"I
that
don't."
the Denver Broncos now with the Boise State logo and
Yeah.
they updated their logo and their colors and everything and their jerseys and so did we. We have like the same jerseys. We are the same fucking team as the Boise State Broncos. It's so goofy. But yeah, so somehow we managed
Yeah.
to pull that off. So but yeah, other than that, that's yeah. We weren't really anticipating much of a big weekend. We had talked about that for college football that it wasn't supposed to be too crazy, and we had lots of upsets, lots
Yeah.
of tight games that shouldn't have
This.
been tight, and
Yeah.
just shit all over the place. So
I will also say, because both teams played really well this week, I am. I don't know that I've ever been more excited for the Army Navy football game this year. Both
mm,
teams look
are playing
so good.
well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like they're just
Weirdly enough, I
balling
remember
out.
watching the Air Force. They might be struggling now, but those first two
Yeah.
weeks in the pick, I might pick them to lose, and I think they won, and so that
Yeah.
was another one. But yeah, so yeah, that's it. Oddly enough, all the military schools just running it up in some football.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Army Navy will be a solid matchup.
Yeah. I know we got the whole way till January, but I love that game already. Just it's
Yeah,
a fun game
yeah,
to watch.
yeah, for sure. Yep.
And then with both teams playing so well, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. Let's get some of that.
Yeah. And looking on to next week, we have South Carolina in Alabama. So Alabama gets a home game, but against South Carolina, and that's one of those ones where I said like an SEC school, like you just never know. So like Alabama could be looking at two tough games in a row. We get Texas back against Oklahoma, and we have Penn State on the road and USC, like you had said earlier, and then Ohio State, Oregon, 2-3 matchups. Yeah, we got some good games coming up next week as well, so that'll be fun.
Absolutely. We'll touch on that more on
But
Wednesday.
yep, yeah, yeah, for sure. We'll dig into our
Maybe
schedule
Thursday
then.
night.
Or yeah, yep.
Uh, yeah, moving right along. Football, right? NFL
Oh, yeah, the good stuff.
started early this week, right?
I knew it was
Did you wake
happening.
up in time?
I told myself it was happening. I knew it was. I was standing in the kitchen, like middle of cracking eggs, and I get that NFL notification that says "Tune in now for da da da," and I was like, "Nah," and I had to like run and they send that notification at like 9:28, so I had to run and scramble. But I did. I got it on. The
Yeah,
boys were like, "Are we watching football right now?" And I was like, "Dude, Sunday starts early now. I'm sorry." I was like, "You can have your little." I set them up a little TV in front of the TV, so I was like, "You can do whatever you want to do down here," but. I was like, I
yeah.
gotta watch it up here. But yes, yeah, it started early today. But yeah, what a solid game, honestly. Aaron
It
Rodgers
was.
got
Yeah.
the shit kicked out of him. Like he just got so beat up.
He
He's
looked so
so old.
deflated.
He looks so deflated. He just looks like he just is like he's the field trip chauffeur and he's so tired of it. Like all these kids on the team and he's just this grown ass old man with Super
Yeah.
Bowl rate. Like he just does not have time for this shit. And like I'm surprised that they don't trade him to a team that needs like he should have went to the Vikings or something like that should have been the Sam Darnold move or whatever like the
Yeah.
Dolphins like that's an odd interdivision trade now but not really because it's not like he's been a Jet forever but yeah I just feel like the Jets and him even from the start I was hoping we got A-Rod instead of Russell Wilson like I was praying for the AR-12 but didn't get him and ends up in New York and yeah it's not looking pretty up there right now
It's the Jets doing Jets things. That
100%.
that's what I've always called it.
Yep.
I don't know. They find a way to self-destruct every
Yeah.
year.
No matter what. Yep.
Yeah.
Even when they have the hype behind him, and this is the A Rod year, and they got Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson and Sauce Gardner and Brees Hall, and it's like they're still gonna fumble the bag somehow, and they sure enough have.
Yeah.
More importantly, though, I feel like even though the Jets are kind of a joke, they are still a decent team. So this makes the Vikings a legitimate 5-0 team.
Yeah. I mean, look, you don't go 5-0 in the NFL by chance.
Yeah, that's 3-0 is like the max for luck. Like you
Yeah.
could sneak into a 4-0 if you have the right schedule, but 5-0
Yeah.
is like there's just no way.
Right. Yeah, they seem to be doing everything right. Uh,
Yep.
and even when they're not, they do enough to do it right. So I don't know. Let's see, look the schedule. Next
They're
week they got
bye.
bye week and then the
Yep.
Lions. So
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, you have to think coming off a bye to play the Lions at home.
Yeah. They're
Is that another one? 6-0?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're coming in hot. They get to enjoy the bye week. Like yeah,
Yeah.
that's and who the Lions are in Dallas next week. So like
Yeah.
that they could get that win, but that's still going to be a tough game. Micah might be back. Like
Yeah.
yeah, so that's I think the Vikings are for real though. I didn't expect it. Like I think I thought they were gonna be in the playoffs. Like especially with like the Sam Darnold replacement, it was like all dependent on him and being
Yes.
healthy. But I didn't think that they would gonna be 5-0, potential 1, 2, 3 seed. Like I thought it was gonna be 4, 5, 6 seed, maybe the 7 or whatever like that
Yeah.
last spot in. But yeah, I mean kudos to them. That's it. They've been playing good football. The Jets
They
kept it close, even though A-Rod was getting killed. But I mean, yeah, it was a good game. It was a solid way to start. And it ended like right at 12:55, so we
right.
rolled right into 1 o'clock football. Like yeah, it was a perfect lineup
Yeah.
time.
All right, I'm gonna gloss over two of the 1 o'clock games because they were boring and the teams are
Not
not that
much to
great.
it. Yep.
I'll start with the Dolphins Patriots. Dolphins win 15-10 over the Patriots. They came up to New England and beat them. Uh, boring game, low
Yeah, it wasn't.
scoring,
Yeah.
not really much to mention. Um,
Somehow these two teams at the bottom of the division, we're just not used to that, and like
yeah,
they're just
remember
awful
true.
now. So yeah, the Jets are somehow above them, and it's
Yeah,
just it's you got the
yeah,
Bills up top. So
yeah. So, and then the other game, which was just a blowout, really from the start.
100%. Yeah.
Bears Panthers. Bears 36, Panthers 10. Uh, to his credit, Caleb Williams actually looked pretty good
Yep.
when he wasn't running for his life.
As usual. He's on
Yeah,
his back and looks so defeated so much. Like he
yeah,
just is like, guys, can we get a block, please?
yeah.
Like they look rough in situations like that.
So, but they put it together. They played well. There's that big brawl. That is of
At the end,
honorable mention
yes,
in this
yes,
game.
that was crazy. Right toward the
Um,
end, I mean, yeah, you're
yeah,
getting your ass kicked at that point. They're just running the score up, but still,
yeah. I don't. I I guess I get both sides, but I mean there was still like 5 minutes left in the game or something. So I'm like,
yeah, yeah. I
do
mean,
your
it's
job.
yeah. Do your
Like,
job. Yeah, don't
I
lose.
yeah,
Don't lose. Like that's that. There's an analyst lately that's been saying it a ton that the whole like, do you not like them taunting? Don't let them score. Like
yeah,
that should be the rule. Like, why are the refs involved? Like, do you not like that guy going like this in your face? Did that hurt your feelings? Okay, don't let him fucking score
yeah.
next time. Like,
Right.
that's your job. Don't
You're
let that
grown
guy in the
men. I
yeah.
get it in
Don't
college. I
yeah.
get it in college. In the
Even then,
NFL,
like still,
like
no,
come
that's
on.
yeah, like that's your job. Like yeah, your job is to do that. So that for you to be like, I didn't do my job well, and also that guy clowned me for it.
Yeah.
Now I'm mad. Like no, you should be mad you didn't do your job well. Like
Right.
kudos to that guy.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's do it better next time. Like because yeah, if you do your job well, clown that guy. Like
Yeah.
return the favor. So. But yeah, that was a crazy. I think it was multi. I think it was like 3 or 4 people got ejected. So yeah, it was like all kinds of punches thrown. Like yeah, it was a scuffle. But yeah, like you said, not too much to go over there. Panthers are who we thought they were. They got that lucky win against the Raiders, and they dropped right back to who
Was
we
it a
thought they were
lucky
going
win
to be.
against the Raiders? I think the Raiders are just bad.
Yeah, the Raiders also have a lot going on there too, but they are, I think, in a different realm where they actually have some talent around the team, and they
Okay.
just have some shit going on that they got to figure out. They have the basis for it, plus they have a cool stadium. They're in Vegas. I think the Panthers are in a shit. They have a new owner that doesn't really seem to give a shit. They have chaos all over. They have the Bryce
Yeah.
Young situation. Yeah, so I just think that they're in a rough spot. And that's who you look at Baker and Sam Darnold both coming through that building and then now killing it. Like
Yeah.
that's a tough spot for them to be in too. Like they got rid of those guys to get Bryce Young, and then now what? Like both those guys are
Yeah.
doing well on
Now
their
you're starting
team,
Andy
so
Dalton.
now you're starting Red Rifle. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a rough place to be for the Panther fans. But yeah, other than that though, we had another really good game then at the 1 o'clock slot.
Which one do you want to go to?
I was looking at the Ravens Bengals game.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Yeah. Man. As advertised, is that safe to say?
I think you thought that. I thought that the Ravens were going to have a clear cut win here. That's what we had talked about that. Where I was like,
Yeah,
this is like the Ravens have got to run away with this one. Like they can't fall to 2-3 to the Bengals. Like they
I
started 0-2, and yeah, you thought this was going to be closer. You thought the
yeah,
Bengals were going to win. Like that's why I was like, I don't even think it's going to be close. Like give me a 6 or 7 point Raven favorite, and yeah,
yeah,
kudos to the Bengals because they came out hot and they kept it going. Five touchdowns from Burrow, four from Lamar, so nine total combined passing touchdowns is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It was just, man, that game was so good from the start.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, that was a must-watch game
yeah,
for sure.
Derrick Henry comes out, gets a touchdown. I believe it was the opening drive.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Um,
51 yards.
yeah, um, yeah. It was, and then went quiet, but man, they picked it up. Second quarter rolls around.
Yep.
Uh, Bengals come back. You get the halftime 14-17. And you're like, okay, like this is good. Oh, how do I forget the 41-yard pass? Justin Jefferson, or not just Jamar Chase, rather,
Yes. Yep.
with a couple seconds left in the half, like just a little dump off pass, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna
It's
take this
gone. I'm
41."
just gonna run this one out, and
Yeah,
he had a 70-yard catch too. Like, yeah, he was out there running
yeah,
today. Like, yeah, that's just nuts. And yeah, they both had. Oh yeah, Lamar had almost 350. Burrow had almost 400. So yeah, I mean, almost
yeah,
750 in passing yards combined. Like,
yeah, and
yeah, it was a
it,
solid game, just
yeah, it
start
was
to
just a
finish.
great game to watch.
Yeah, especially because
Um,
it's a divisional game too, so it's gonna matter later. Like, yeah,
yeah,
it's just this was just such a good game from start to finish.
yeah, and then they go into overtime, and they get the fumble with Lamar, the
Yep.
bad snap,
Expect them to
and
be done.
yeah,
It's over.
you're like,
It's
oh yeah, they're
over.
gonna get a couple yards. I mean, the fumble was at like the 40-yard line. You're
Yeah.
like, they're gonna pick up a couple yards, and this game will be over. And
Yep.
then it wasn't. I mean, he missed the field goal. To his credit, it was a fairly long field goal.
Yeah, but
Um,
still, I mean, yeah, you just expect them to kind of win that at that point. Like that should have been over. And
yeah, and then they give the ball back to Baltimore, and they go two plays for 51 yards.
yeah,
Like, what
just
are you
like
guys
that.
doing?
Simple,
Yeah,
simple. Nothing for Lamar. As you texted,
yeah.
you said Lamar's not human or whatever you had said. Like,
Oh
yeah,
my
it's just like
gosh,
that one
he
throw he had,
had
like you said, that he stiff arms the guy, pushes
yeah,
himself off, back it up, scrambles out of bounds, and you see him, and it looks like he's about to do that thing where he's just like fake pointing. He's about to do that soft little throw out of bounds and just walk out, and all of a sudden he just loads up and throws it, gets
yeah. Just
pushed
like
like out of
blew
bounds,
it to Isaiah Likely in the
dimes
back of the
right in the
end
middle
zone.
of the end zone. Yeah, dude's just standing there, catches it straight up and gets hit on the way down. But yeah, they're just such like he waited and waited until the moment he needed and then just whistles it right over top of
Yeah,
everyone. But yeah, Lamar's a freak of nature. Getting to see him do that kind of stuff is it's so fun. That's why I have him as my MVP candidate. Like if they keep winning, he just is
yeah.
so fun to watch. But next week, Baltimore is home. They have the Washington Commanders, who's a super hot team. We'll get into that
That's gonna
game
be a fun
soon.
game.
Yeah, that'll be a really good game though. That local DMV game. So that's two gritty teams kind of battling it out there. It's a short trip, so it's kind of a home game for the Redskins anyway. But yeah, it's Commanders. But yeah, so that's yeah. Baltimore though, I think that it's not a must win anymore because they got to their 3-2 spot. They're positive now. If they lose, it's going to be the excuse of well, Washington's hot. If they win, then that's going to be okay. Well, that was expected. They're supposed to
We'll
beat Washington, so
we'll get to it, but the division's coming back to them. So
yeah, for sure. Yep,
yeah,
yep. And then Cincinnati is on the road in New York for the Giants next Sunday night. So
get right game.
yeah, hopefully a get right game for a 1-4 team.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, yeah, the Bengals have a lot of get right games that they need to be coming up. So
yeah. I don't know
yeah,
about a playoff
yeah.
prediction there. Went a little wild, a little quick.
I mean, I was moments from picking the same thing. Like I just was like, yeah, give me the Ravens. Like it was supposed to be Raven. I just said Bengals Chiefs or Ravens Bengals or whatever, and instead I was like, yeah, Ravens Chiefs. But
Yeah,
yeah, I did not expect this. Like, is this a Zach Taylor hot seat situation, or we think he's safe? Is this a blow it up and
I
trade everyone? Is this a let's draft a?
I
Because what's the issue? Like, who do you
that's
draft? Like,
it.
it's
That's it.
they're
What
just
is the
not playing
issue?
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where I think that's one of those ones where it's like it's bold to say it's a hot seat situation, but what else is the problem?
When you
What else do you point a finger to? And
when
you
your
have
quarterback throws
Burrow,
5 touchdowns, you expect to win the game.
yeah, and you have
That's it.
Jamar
It's that
Chase and
simple.
T Higgins and like a decent defense. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's they lose Mixon, which I think hurt, but it's like what they still have a running game, so it's like where are we struggling at here? And yeah, I mean
I'm not
it's
a fan of Cincinnati. Not to say that I don't like them. I'm just not a huge fan.
no,
But I mean, at this point, do you suck and just get the higher draft pick. Like,
That's what I was thinking though. But it's like even then, it's like, what are you doing with it? Like you need to trade that for a collection of people because like you just need help. But that's where like I think like is it truly a talent issue or is it a coaching issue? Because like,
yeah,
they have a good defense, but I mean maybe there's just the running back room. Like Zach Moss and Chase Brown just can't quite get it done, and Burrow is not exactly a scrambling quarterback. So
right.
the threat of no run and putting teams getting spread out, and that's making it tough for them to throw. But there again, like we just said, he's throwing for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. So maybe it is the defense. Maybe it is all on defense that they got to start holding people because they have let up a lot of points this year.
Yeah,
Like I will say that points again. I was just looking at that earlier. I have it up still.
yeah, 145 points against
Yes, yeah, yeah. So
140
they're
points
second. Yeah,
for.
they're second in the league. So yeah, they are deep in the points again. So yeah, that is true. So yeah, maybe it isn't really a focal point on defense and that they really need to spice up defense. So yeah, I mean maybe they should just start tanking, looking for a linebacker or that safety that really changes everything. But
Yeah, I do agree
yeah,
with you
yeah,
though. I don't know what you do.
yeah, yeah. I mean at that point now, looking at that stat,
I
like
also don't know
it
what
feels
you
like it's
have
got to
on
be
defense.
defense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, that's true. I mean, yeah, you signed Jamar and Joe. You don't have much money left over, and
yeah,
it's a Cincinnati team, so they're not really technically a big market.
yeah,
But yeah, that was a solid game, though. Let's see. Excited to see the Ravens Commanders next week. That'll be a really good game. But
yeah. All right, moving right along, we'll stay in that division. We have the Browns traveled to Washington to take on the Commanders, and as expected, lost 13 to
yeah,
34. Uh, I mean, Commanders looked good again.
yep,
Browns looked bad again.
yep,
Not much more to say about that.
nope.
Um,
Touching points. Jaden Daniels a freak.
yeah,
Looks amazing. Even getting drilled in the face, missing passes, people dropping touchdown passes. He's smiling and giggling like
yeah,
next time. Like he's laughing, like he's not
got
pissed off. Which like
confidence. Yeah,
yeah, like and it's like I think that it's like the right type of confidence, and it's not like because like Aaron Rodgers has his own like gonna grill you and yell at you and grab you by the face mask
right.
kind of
Yeah,
mentality, and like you're not getting that from Jaden, but he's like a hype you up Tim Tebow. Like don't worry about it, we're gonna get it the next time. Like
yeah,
so yeah, so he is so fun to watch. Like all of my Washington people, like that's it, Miranda, Craig, like all you guys, like at Vic, like I know you guys loving to see them at 4-1 right now, top of the NFC East. But
oof,
yeah, I mean they're fun to watch. Scary Terry's fun to watch. Like yeah, they're a good team.
yeah,
Browns suck. Deshaun Watson's, from what I could tell, I watched it a couple of times. I only saw one clip of it. I don't know if you saw it, the walk off. They had
yeah,
fourth and short. The Stefanski wanted to go for it, and Deshaun just was like, "Nah, like what's the point?" Like they were down like 20 points, so he just was like, "No," and walked off. And
yeah,
it got to a situation where they were like arguing, and it ate up the play clock, and they had to take the delay game or whatever. And
yeah.
why is he still playing? Like, can we please get Crab Leg King in there? Like, give me Jameis Winston. I'm so sick of asking for it.
Selfishly, please wait at least a week before you make that decision. Cleveland Browns.
Do you play the Browns next
You
week?
sure do. I was just reading about it on Reddit tonight where they were like, this is going to be the week where they bench Deshaun Watson.
Put in
Jameis comes
Jameis,
in and
goes
puts up
nuts
500
in
yards
Philly,
on
in
us.
Philly,
Yeah.
with some goofy ass
He
locker room
does.
speech about eating bald eagles and shit.
Yeah, he does the Red Rocket thing, like he did to the Raiders,
Yes,
and
yes,
then we lose another one. And so, yeah, if you could wait a week, I would love to see Deshaun Watson play Philadelphia. That'd be great.
yeah, yeah. Give us that guy that doesn't know how to play,
yeah,
please.
exactly.
But
Um,
yeah, that's the Browns are in a tough spot though. I can't believe they've even gotten to 1-4 because they're another one where like they have a good team, but they just have that Browns curse. Like it's a time for
yeah,
Cleveland to just sell the team. Like we are talking about what's wrong with the Bengals. Like the Browns are just in Cleveland. That's their issue.
yeah,
Like move the
for
whole
sure.
yeah, that's their problem. Move somewhere. Go to Austin or something. Like get out of there.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
All right, I believe the last game in the 1 o'clock. Nope, there are two more games.
Two more. Yeah.
Uh, no longer winless, or no longer winless Jaguars. Take
Yep.
down the Colts, 37 to 34.
Yep.
I
Didn't
really
see
thought
that
the Colts
happening.
were coming back in this
So
game.
did I.
Your boy
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
I love me some Flacco. Yeah, that's I do that to Rand
Flacco.
every time we're watching. I look at Rand. I'm like, I know that guy. I mean, not like well, but I met him. Like it's fine. We hung out at Hershey Park one time. Like it's no big deal.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's super cool to see him still playing like at his age. Like that joke he had last week about Anthony Richardson's mom being 8 days older than him. So he's like, there's just no way he thinks I'm cool. Like I
yeah,
get it. And so like yeah, like it's just super cool to see him out there balling though. Like he commands a team.
he
It's
did. Yeah,
it's a good spot to be in. The Browns are fucking idiots for letting him go last year. Like he made him to the playoffs last year. Like they
right.
should have just kept him let him stay in another season. And that's what he was like, nah, fuck it, I'll just go back to being retired. And then gets a call from the Colts. And
Yeah.
now Anthony Richardson goes down. He's doing the same thing. And sensing the Colts are going to have some decisions to make soon, too, if he keeps playing well and gets some wins under his belt. But I mean, I think that ultimately they're going to want to keep trying Richardson because that's their project, that's their
Right.
future. But
Yeah. I
yeah, I
agree.
mean, I did not think like Lawrence looked bad in this. He threw a really wild pick late in the game. It was into like triple coverage on like a deep post route underneath the touchdown. Like you're looking at like the 5 or 7 yard line probably, and like underthrows it, crossbody, right hash to left post. Like
Yeah.
everyone would like he looked like annoyed and was like, "Damn!" And it was like, "Dude, what did you? What the hell did like? You're not throwing to Megatron like." Calvin Johnson retired and has never played for the Jaguars. There's
Yeah.
no way in hell he was going to get that. But yeah, so the Jaguars somehow pull that win out. It was an ugly game, but they get the win.
Yeah. That's one of those ones where you know, everything you luck into win sometimes,
Yeah,
and that's why it's so hard to go 16-0
five.
or 0 and
Yes, yeah,
16.
you're never gonna do it
Yeah.
accidentally either way. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, and then the last game of the 1 o'clock window, another one. Good game. Do you agree?
yes, very much so. Real
Yeah.
quick, just to add
Oh.
salt in my own wound, Jaguars Colts. I had an 8 leg parlay. I hit 6 of them. The only ones I got wrong were 49ers money line, which we'll get into that, and Colts Jaguars. My dumbass took under 34 and a half. And the Colts scored 34 by themselves. It was like 10, it was, what was it, 10, 23 points in the first half. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, there's a chance. There's a chance. And then the Colt Joe just comes out going nuts in the fourth. And I was like,
Yeah.
God damn it. And at that point, the 49ers hadn't played yet. So I was like, this is the only thing I have wrong. This is the only fucking one that I have wrong.
Yeah.
So missing a parlay by one is really tough, but two makes it a lot better. So I actually enjoyed the other one I lost.
Let's go.
Damn. Right on the line.
Yep. For those of you listening, Dak just threw an interception
Yeah,
in
that's
the
it.
end
Yeah,
zone, basically.
we would have been
And
recording this late third quarter into fourth like we
yeah,
usually do, but if anybody's watching the Sunday night game or like we said, watching it last night as you're listening to this, there was a huge rain tornado delay. The Pittsburgh was covered in rain and
yeah,
they had a delay pretty much like an hour and a half. Kickoff was at 9:45 instead of 8:15. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
And
anyway,
also for the excuse me, for the few Dodgers fans left in the stadium, they just hit a home run with 2 outs in the ninth. So for makes the score 2-10.
yeah, I was gonna say, wait, is it close? Because last time I checked, it was not. That's what you said. Hit a home run. I was like, no shot. Did I look away? And then all of a sudden, the game's well, the Dodgers came back, and I
No,
just
no,
missed
no. The
Magic
Padres,
Johnson in the
the
sideline
Padres
doing.
dropped like 3 home runs in the top of the ninth, and and the Dodgers just picking up some garbage time stuff here with 2 outs.
Love that.
Anyways, moving along.
Yeah, but anyway, like you said, yeah, it was a good game though. Yes,
Yeah,
very much so. Very great
Bills
game.
travel down to Houston and come out with an L to the
Yeah.
Texans, 23-20 Texans.
Yep. This is one where I
Um,
thought, like you, we both kind of thought the Bills had a better chance here and that they were gonna get the win.
I
And
saw some stats that basically Josh Allen had like the worst game of his career.
yeah,
And
statistically,
yeah,
it just was a. It
I
didn't
just
look that bad, but it was
right.
not. 9 of 30 is a rough day at the office. Like that's tough.
Yeah, I didn't watch a ton of this game. But yeah, I'm just like 9 of 30. I don't how do you
The,
how?
This is one
But
where like I don't want to get too. I felt like I was watching it. I was like, I don't want to get too caught up either way this game goes. Like I
I
had bet
agree.
Texans money line in my parlay, so like that one I got right, and I was like, okay, I expected them to win. They were at home. They had a weird loss a couple weeks ago. I think they won last week, but regardless, it was like they're at home. They're pretty similar teams. Bills are probably a better team, but the Texans being at home, like just give me the Texans. I like that game better.
Yeah.
And so like, I had picked that right, but yeah, it just was one where no matter which way it went, I didn't want to get over carried away that, oh my God, they lost this game. How could they do that? The Bills moved to two. The Bills 2 and 3 would have been a little like, or I guess they wouldn't have been. They were 3 and 1. Yeah, yeah. So they would have went to 4 and 1. But yeah, so I mean the Bills being 4 and 1 would have been acceptable and nothing crazy. Same thing with the Texans dropping to 3 and 2. Like it wouldn't have been anything wild that we didn't expect to see
Right.
happen. So yeah, the Bills being 3 and 2, I think that's right where we thought they would be. But yeah, I mean this was a good game. The Buffalo's just started out so slow and then
Yeah.
finally got it going in the third quarter, get that touchdown after the Keon Coleman long pass. But yeah, I mean it's this as expected. It was just kind of a dogfight, and then it led down to the final seconds. A field goal from Kai Fairbairn. So
Yeah. My turnover stat fails me in this one. The Texans did have 2 turnovers to the Buffalo's 0, which is
yeah,
probably the only reason this game was close.
True. Yeah, that
Like,
could have been the deciding factor as to why it was even remotely close. Because
yeah,
yeah, it should not have
because
been.
when you play that bad, yeah, you just
Yeah, as yeah, neither team played fantastic, but then like both teams played fantastic against their opponent in a
yes,
weird way. Like
yeah.
no one was really killing it, but they were holding each other down, but still put up 20 points apiece. So, but
Moving
yeah,
to the 4 o'clock window.
was just going to touch real quick. Buffalo heads into New York Jets next Monday night. So they have a tough battle there. And
Yeah,
then Houston's on the road in New England. So Houston hopefully can stay hot. Buffalo has a little bit of a get right opportunity inside the division. So
yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But yeah, go ahead, jump us into the 4 o'clock slot.
4 o'clock window. Kick it off with your team, Bo Nix, the future.
Yes. I still don't think so. Still not convinced. I don't think Bo Nix is a quarterback. I think he's like a weird fullback tight end hybrid outside linebacker kind of build. Don't love Bo Nix. I think the Raiders are in a rough spot right now. We took advantage.
Sure.
Our defense is definitely solid. I
Yeah.
think we are fifth in like points allowed and yards allowed or something. I was looking at it earlier and I lost the tab. But yeah, we are up there in all of those stats as far as
Yeah.
defense. Like our defense is holding shit together. PS2 had a 100-yard pick six, which was beautiful. Almost got called back on a flag that like even the girls were watching. They were like, why is that coming back? And I was like, I will fucking shit if
Yeah,
they
that
uncall
block
that.
on Gardner
It
Minshew
was
was.
a block. It was a clean block, and Gardner just turned his shoulders.
Yeah.
And so, like, what else are you gonna do? Like, I think if he wouldn't have pancaked him, it would have been a hold. Like, if he
Yes.
would have just turned, it would have been that weird like momentum. But because he went to turn the guy, and our dude was like, "Nope, you're
Yeah.
going straight down, dude. You're not turning and getting me to look like the bad guy here." So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, and then like there was that clip of Max Crosby. It's over here on the ESPN highlights. And Max Crosby chirps Bo Nix to speak up at the line of scrimmage. Like, yeah, Bo Nix just looks scared. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. He got in a little argument with Sean Payton on the sideline. Our
Yeah.
quarterbacks coach was yelling at Sean Payton. And Sean's pointing at the fucking play sheet. So like now it's going to be one of those that if Bo Nix is playing well, is Sean Payton the problem, and vice versa. Sean can
Yeah.
easily be like, "No, it's him. I'm going to start Stidham or sack fucking Wilson." So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still not convinced that we're a good team. Somehow we're 3-2. We're on a 3 game win streak. I think it said that I don't know if it's in Bronco history or NFL history, but Bo Nix is the first. I think it was Bronco history, first rookie quarterback we've had to win 3 games in a row. Which I read that and I was like, nah. And then I was like, oh yeah, we started 0-2 and we've won the last three,
Yeah.
like Bucks, Jets, Raiders. So, but yeah, Raiders look rough. Hoping Devontae Adams gets out of there. I feel like we're gonna waste Max Crosby's career. I feel like that's gonna be like a Khalil Mack situation where
Yeah.
he's on this team that's just so fucking pointless and could be somewhere else just wreaking havoc. Terrified that he does end up on like the Chiefs or something crazy like that because that's some shit that would happen.
Right.
But yeah, I mean Max Crosby's a monster, and the Raiders just have nothing going for them. They did end up benching Gardner Minshew in this game shortly after that sack. Aiden O'Connell comes in, doesn't do really too much better, and yes, I mean the Broncos looked really solid, but
Yeah.
I'm not getting carried away with this one, like I said, because it's against the Raiders, and so like I don't want to get my hopes up at
Right.
all.
Fair enough. Moving along, we'll take the Cardinals going on the road
Yeah,
in
what
a
a
hot
weird
one in Southern California. I guess
Southern
California.
California.
Beating
Yeah,
the
what a weird one.
49ers 24 to 23.
Yeah, and
Holding
this
the
is
49ers to 0 points in the second half.
just nothing doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is some Kyle Shanahan shit though. That's your 28-3 Super Bowl shit. Like
Right.
that's him just getting scared all the time, having to leave, thinking they're good, and then just not
Yeah.
playing normal football. Kittle had a bunch of drops today that I did not love to see.
Yeah.
Ayuk looked really good. Super salty on that because we're playing each other in fantasy, and I have Kittle and you have Ayuk, and it's
Yeah.
fine. It's whatever. I got the touchdown, but you got the yards. But we also had the Burrow Jamar Chase split, so everything Jamar
Yeah.
Chase caught and scored. I
Thank
was like,
God.
yay, fuck. I was like, damn it, dude, this just cancels each other
Yeah.
out. So, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, this was the
Go back to
49ers.
the
Like, it's just
turnover stat. Three
yeah,
turnovers to one for Arizona.
yep.
You lose the game.
Yeah, that's they luckily they recovered their one fumble that Murray dropped and just rolled out of bounds. But
This is another one. San Francisco. You're now sitting at 2-3, and they played Seattle, and then they play the Chiefs 10 days later,
yeah,
and
that's a
then
rough.
and then they have the Cowboys and the Buccaneers and Seattle again. Like they don't have an easy schedule.
No,
Now
and this
they
and
could very easily go win all of these games as well.
the Seattle game this week is on the road Thursday
Right.
night too, so
Yeah.
that'll be our live game Thursday night. Is San Francisco on the road in a must win after Seattle also just lost to the. We'll get into that here too, and
Yeah.
that was a fucking wild game. But
Yeah. You're
Seahawks
just.
really need that win to get back on track, and San
Yeah.
Francisco needs a win to prove that they're still a team that can play football because it
Right.
doesn't look like it right now.
Right. And I mean, you look at the Cardinals on the flip side of that coin. They've got a fairly easy schedule. You're looking at Packers, Chargers, Dolphins, Bears, Jets,
Yeah,
and
the Cardinals. Yeah, they
they
could make.
could easily win
Well,
this division.
they're gonna
Like,
lose their quarterback in 3 weeks. New
right,
Call of
when
Duty
Call of
comes
Duty comes
out,
out,
so yeah, new Call of
just
Duty comes out, so
just
we're
like
sticking true to that.
just like Josh Allen rolling over into the month of October and
Rolling over the month of
throwing
October, 0-2. Yeah,
9 for
yeah,
30.
a worst game. Yeah, so yeah, that's like you'd said
Yeah,
yeah, October's over. So October has started. His career's
or yeah,
done.
sorry, September rather.
No,
Um,
you said it correctly.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you said September's over. We rolled into October, so now he's done. And you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's at that point it's over.
yeah. So I guess we'll see. Um,
Yep,
Moving right along, though, we had another good game in Southern California.
this was a good one.
Yeah, Packers 24, Rams 19.
Yep,
Um,
and it was a battle back and forth. Like this one was one where it wasn't as far apart as it seemed for being a 5 point deficit, but also I mean like the Rams went scoreless in the first and the third. Green Bay doesn't score in the fourth, so they just held on for dear life and just held the Rams out of it. Um, they had what was I trying to think about? There was Stafford got hit pretty good. Well, I was trying to think about the clip that I saw earlier, but like he had gotten hit pretty good. And so did Jordan Love, honestly,
yeah,
but not like a ton. Nothing like Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers was just getting beat up all day long. So
yeah,
it was pretty rough for them. But yeah, I mean, this was a good fight. You thought maybe at one point they said that the Rams were actually going to come away with it, but
yeah,
the Packers are just they're a solid team, and so Jordan Love's healthy again and was doing all right. So I mean, yeah, I think that they're back to where they should be.
yeah. Of note, though, that pick six that Jordan Love threw was I laughed. Did you see it?
Is that what I'm
He
thinking of? Is
he
the
was running. He ran like a bootleg in the end zone, and then the dude just pushed him, expecting to push him out of bounds. And he's like falling down and like just like
Oh yes, yes,
throws the
yes,
ball
yes,
underhand.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a yeah. Jordan Love throws
just
one of the worst receptions you'll ever see. Yeah,
yeah.
that it
It
was
was like the
yeah,
Will Levis
it was a
type.
Will
Like
Levis. I was just it was a Will Levis type shit. It was like
yeah,
I literally the article I'm reading right now. Jordan Love does his best Will Levis impression, throws horrendous pick six. So yeah, we called
yeah.
that one out. It's outkick.com. We stole your headline. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was just like I saw it and I was like, what are you doing? Like
Yeah, you could have just lost the game on that.
yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, got
it's
lucky I suppose. But I mean
but yeah, I mean other than
you're
that though,
chasing a
yeah.
wild card and Detroit's got the same number of wins as you. So I think if you're a
Yeah,
Packers
I
fan,
was
you gotta
yeah,
be ecstatic about how
where
the
you're at.
injury went and where they came.
For
So
sure, because it was 4 to 6 weeks. I think was that original expectation for losing Jordan Love, and so him
yeah,
missing 2 weeks and then bouncing back, losing a game, and then kind of getting right here.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, they're 3-2, and they're in that division there with the Lions. I mean, yeah, they're in a great spot. 'Cause I think again, I don't think the Bears are for real. I think that they definitely fumble, but
yeah,
obviously the Vikings are for real. So I mean, like that's going to be a tough. Like they if
right,
they hold out and they stay healthy, there's no reason they shouldn't win that division, even with a couple losses under their belt. So
right.
I mean, yeah, the
Especially with a two
Packers.
game lead in week 5.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, so the
Yeah,
Packers and the Lions really now, which we thought the Lions were going to be the ones that run away with it, but now it's Packers Lions fighting for it, and like, could the Bears be for real? And they're the 4 team
yeah,
fighting for it. Like, who thought the NFC North was going to be the team with 4 good teams? Like,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I definitely think the Bears fizzle out, but I think the Packers are a semi-for real team. I think they could sneak in as that wild card, especially if the Lions
right.
kind of start to fumble. But yeah, I'm excited to see kind of where they go. I feel so bad for the Rams. Like I love Sean McVay and like I loved Aaron Donald. I love Matt Stafford. Like it's just you want to see them do well and like there's a fun team to watch out in LA in the new
Yeah,
SoFi Stadium. But like, yeah, it's rough right now for the Rams.
yeah. I agree.
Missing half your team still is a tough day at the office.
Yeah.
But
And then the
um,
final
yep,
game, four
yep.
o'clock window. Giants travel across the country. I don't think anybody saw this coming to beat the Seahawks 29-20.
Nope. That was
I
out of
just
nowhere, and especially how it ended too. Like it just was like not how like you
yeah,
thought it was gonna end. It was the Seahawks charging away down 3, and you're like, okay, this is it.
right.
This is where they scored. This is what
Yep.
we expected to happen. The Giants suck. They always lose it in the end,
Right.
and then you get a field goal blocked, returned for a touchdown,
Right.
like that. It's what a
I
crazy end to the game.
I wonder how many people lost money on that spread.
Oh,
Like, like what? So
what
the
was it? Ahead to plus
the
or
spread
minus?
before the game was Seattle minus 7.5.
Damn. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so
I
they're
would have
expected to
taken
win by
that.
8,
Yeah, I
and
would
they
have honestly
lost by
taken that.
9.
Yeah,
But how many people lost money because of that, block return for the touchdown?
Yep. Yeah,
You
because
know,
they could have scored, and then they would have still had some time left. The
right?
Giants inevitably would have turned the ball over, and then the Seahawks kick another field goal or so, and then now it's 30 to. I mean, it's still 30 to 23, but still, like, yeah, it's you were in rare area there where it could have happened late in the game, and instead, yeah, the Giants get a block with a couple minutes to go,
Yeah,
return it for a touchdown, and it fell right in dude's hands. Like the Seahawks just didn't even block. He
yeah,
hits the first bounce, it pops in. He looked like confused for a second, and then
right.
realized like he needed to get in the end zone. And he was just gone. No one was catching him, and
Yeah,
yeah, I mean the Giants get a much needed win, but again, I don't think their wins really matter. Like they're not a team that's to be reckoned with. Like they're not scary. They're not going to win in the playoffs. Like no one needs to fear them. Like can they
right.
get lucky like this and win a game or two? Sure, but
Yeah,
so like be on your best behavior, but they're not going to do anything crazy in their division, especially or anything like that. So, but yeah, Seahawks. I mean, yeah, they dropped the last two Lions and then Giants. Like they definitely have to get right Thursday night with the 49ers coming into Seattle. Like that's not a game that they want to drop. And so I mean neither do the
yeah.
49ers
It
though.
makes
So
me curious. Do you think Seattle was looking ahead? You think they
possibly,
overlooked the
yeah.
Giants?
Possibly. I mean, yeah, for sure. Like I would have like that was like yeah, that was yeah, like
Like
I
you're
felt like
coming
that was
across the country and you're like,
yeah, I would
oh,
have absolutely taken that money line, and I don't even think I bet on this one, but yeah, like that would have been a money line and spread the 7.5. I'd have been like, yeah, duh, like that's like a 33-10 kind of game. Like I definitely think the Seahawks are gonna run away with that one, and somehow,
yeah,
yeah, the Giants just yeah kept it going,
yeah.
but yeah,
And then we'll just touch. We're sitting at halftime of tonight's game, Sunday night. Uh, what a barn burner here, 6-3 Cowboys.
yeah, I figured it was gonna be like this with the rain delay. I figured it was just gonna be a slow, kind of
Yeah,
shitty. Plus, the Cowboys got a couple players out, and the Steelers are the Steelers, and
yeah, exactly. I mean, the Steelers are doing what they need to do to win the game.
yeah,
This is how they win football games. They keep the score low,
and just
and
fight.
yeah, scratch, claw, and maybe you get lucky and win the game. So,
Snoop Dogg's got to have the coolest life of all time.
dude,
Like
the
what?
man's
Like
living
what?
it, right?
He's smoking weed, doing Olympics, hanging out at football, doing raps, hanging out with Tupac. Like he being a grandpa. Like he's just that's just
Yeah,
the coolest shit ever.
making children's shows for his grandkids.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. Children's raps and stuff. Like, yeah,
right.
it's so funny.
I love playing that for my daughter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a solid play.
Yeah,
But But yes, I mean, yeah, it was a solid weekend in football. I mean, a lot of things we expected, some couple things we didn't quite expect. I mean, but yeah, the Vikings 5-0 tomorrow night's game, Chiefs Saints. Chiefs could definitely fumble there. The Saints looked good there for a couple weeks, looked
yeah.
bad for a couple weeks, so
This is
they could
one of
definitely
those.
sneak one
This is
for
one of those you
sure.
don't get 5-0 by accident. They're
Facts,
4 and
yeah,
0,
yep,
so I think
yeah.
I think I would take the Saints in this. Um,
Yeah, that's. I mean, but then again, though, like I know the Chiefs are for real, and like they are like they've had a rough start and they're still 4-0, kind of dog walking
right?
everyone.
Yeah,
So like if they for some reason got their shit together for this week, like I think that they could easily run away with this one too. But
for sure.
what do we have spread as? Yeah, KC five and a
Five and a
half.
half.
Yeah, see, I
Yeah,
don't know that I love that spread. Like I think it is a little closer than that. I don't know that they do. I mean, see again, I think the Saints are so 50-50. Like it is either a 1 point game or a 20 point game. Like this
yeah,
is either a 27-7 or it's a 27-24. Like I don't think there's a lot of middle ground there, but
right.
I do think it's high scoring though. I 43 and a half. I do think it's higher than that for some reason. I mean, I guess though it's
I'd
still
agree with that.
I'm kind of torn, but yeah.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
We'll catch up with everybody Wednesday.
Yep, for sure. We'll see
Uh,
everybody Wednesday
Hope you
morning.
have
And
a good
then,
day. Like and subscribe. Appreciate you all for listening.
do you have a fun fact for us?
I have a fun fact for you.
Thought so.
The original patent for the fire hydrant was lost in a fire.
That's hysterical. That's so funny. That's one of those things that's just like you get to tell that story afterwards, and it's like this is real shit. Like we have to tell somebody this and put this in the papers.
Yeah.
Like we have to let people know that this happened.
Yep. We have to let them know. All right.
Oh damn.
Appreciate
Alrighty.
y'all.
Have
Have a
yep.
great day.
Yep. Enjoy your Monday. Have a good week,
See you all
everyone.
Wednesday.